Hello, welcome to another English class. And today we'll be looking at an interesting topic. Yes, it's actually interesting. It's conjunctions. Conjunctions. I actually feel it's necessary for us to look at it, owing to the fact that conjunctions help a long way in writing. When you know how to use your conjunctions appropriately, you will obviously flow very well in your writing. Remember, I once said in one of my classes that all parts of speech are highly important. They are very important. No iota should be left untouched or dealt with. So for that reason, we want to look at conjunctions. You want to talk about your ability to join words. You want to know of how well you can join phrases. You want to know how to join your sentences together. Then you have to pay ample attention on this topic, conjunctions, and that's what it is. All right, as usual, we'll look at three key objectives. We'll define conjunctions, mention the types, use them in sentences, know how to apply them. Know how to apply them. It will help a long way. All right, we'll have this before us. A conjunction links words, phrases, and clauses. Jerry and Jeffrey, handsome Jerry and ugly tortoise. I've joined two words. I've joined phrases, and to join clauses, you have he is a handsome boy, and he is hardworking. He is a handsome boy and he is hardworking. So we've been able to actualize the use of conjunction to link words, to link phrases, and to link clauses. So let's get started. All right. Basically, conjunctions are words that are used to join words, phrases, clauses, sentences. Now, clauses in the sense that the main clause is made up of one independent clause. All right, so that's why for which we can actually say conjunctions are used to join words, phrases, and clauses, and not mention sentences. But I would like to mention part of sentences. All right, so when we talk about conjunctions, we refer to those words that we use to join words. Joining words of same class, we could say joining words of different viewpoints or ideas. That's what conjunctions do. So with your conjunctions, you're able to join sentences, you're able to join clauses, you're able to join words, you're able to join phrases. You join clauses of two different parts, the main clause and the subordinate clause. You join sentences, that's the two simple sentences. You can join two simple sentences with your conjunction. So conjunctions are actually deep. So we said that conjunctions are very important words used in English. You use them every day, and that's just the truth. There is no day that you don't use conjunctions. Now tell me, have you not used and today? Have you not used but today? Have you not used your because? Have you not tried to show the reason for something and you find yourself using because? Have you not used until or although or? Oh, so you see, even so, which has become a part of the students, before they start a sentence, they will tell you so about tomorrow, so about yesterday, so. That's the use of conjunction. So you see that we use conjunction virtually every day, so it's important. So a conjunction is a word that joins parts of a sentence, phrase, or other words together. Conjunctions are basically joining words. Put it that way, they are joining words. Now, conjunctions are used as single words or in pairs. Yes, you use conjunctions in single words, or you use them as single words rather, or you use them in pairs. Now, you use them as single words when you use your and, when you use your so, when you use your for, when you use your fanboys. You use your no, you use your or. But you use them in pairs when the moment you mention neither, you should expect no. That's using them in pairs. Neither Jerry nor Chinenye is present. There is something very tricky about neither nor. When you use your neither nor or either or, you must consider the last subject before you choose your verb choice. Your last subject in your use of neither nor either or determines your verb choice. I can't actually say neither Mr. Jerry nor Miss Chinenye are available. It's wrong, grammatically incorrect. All right, remember, we've once looked at concord and we said that concord agrees with the subject. So we call it proximity concord, the use of neither nor either or. So the noun that is closer or closest to the verb choice determines the verb choice. All right, so that being said, that's not what we have for today. So neither nor is a paired conjunction. I cannot use neither without using no. I cannot use hardly without using when. I cannot use, hardly without using, yes, when. All right, I cannot use no sooner without using than. I can't use either without using or. I can't use not only without using but also. So you see, we have paired conjunctions and we have single conjunctions. That's what we'll find out as we progress. So these are some of the conjunctions that we have. And these conjunctions we have and, but, or. These three are some examples of what we call coordinating conjunction. These three are examples of coordinating conjunctions. Why? Because conjunctions are classified into three. You have the subcoordinating conjunction, you have the subordinating conjunction, and you have the correlative conjunction. So these examples are based on the three types. So I've said it that and, but, or are for the coordinating conjunction, until and although are for subordinating conjunction, then neither nor either or are the paired conjunction, which we call the correlative conjunctions. All right, so what are the rules? There are a few important rules for using conjunctions. Remember them and you will find that your writing flows better. That is it. Once you remember them, your writing will flow better. So conjunctions are for connecting thoughts, actions, and ideas, as well as nouns, clauses, and other parts of speech. For example, Mary went to the supermarket and bought oranges. Mary went to the supermarket and bought oranges. So we have been able to use conjunction to join Mary went to the market, bought oranges. So we've used it to join a sentence, a thought, and an action. All right, so that is it. Conjunctions are useful for making lists. Conjunctions are useful for making lists. For example, we made pancakes, eggs, and coffee for breakfast. You are making your list. You want to end your list. You want to mention the last list, the last item on the list. You use your conjunction to close it up. So when using conjunctions, make sure that all the parts of your sentences agree. Exactly, they have to agree. For example, I work busily, yet I'm careful, does not agree. It does not agree. I work busily, yet carefully shows agreement. So, and again, I want to clear something, and I'm careful. This I'm careful is wrong. I intentionally had to put it that way because that's how people write at times. When you're saying I'm careful, you're writing I am in short form, which is hyphenated I. You put your apostrophe, then M. So there is no word as am, I'm careful. No, it is wrong. It is either I am careful or I'm careful. I'm careful means I apostrophe M. I hope that is gotten. All right, so I work busily yet carefully. You can't say I work busily yet I'm careful. No, you can say I work busily and I'm careful. But he says I work busily yet carefully. All right, so this shows agreement. Now let's look at the types of conjunctions that we have. Types of conjunctions that we have. You have the coordinating conjunctions, you have subordinating conjunctions, and you have the correlative conjunctions. The coordinating conjunctions are single words that join similar words or phrases or elements. So coordinating conjunctions join similar words, phrases, or elements. Subordinating conjunctions also join similar words, phrases, or elements but exist in pairs. Sorry, that's a mistake. They should be for subordinating conjunctions are actually adverbs that are used as conjunctions. That is it. Please take note of that. It's a mistake. Correlative conjunctions come in pairs. They also join similar words, phrases, or elements but exist in pairs. Then subordinating conjunctions are the conjunctions that actually are adverbs. All right, they are actually adverbs that are used as conjunctions. I hope that is gotten. Please pardon the error, it's just a mistake. So subordinating conjunctions are actually adverbs that are used as conjunctions, while correlative conjunctions also join similar words, phrases, or elements but exist in pairs. All right, so when we go further, we'll have a better clarification on this. So these are our coordinating conjunctions. Well, when I'm teaching my students, I try to create an acronym for them for coordinating conjunction, and I call it FAN boys. I call it FAN boys. F for, A for and, N for no, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, S for so. So these are our coordinating conjunctions which we use to join words, phrases, and sentences. All right, so let's look at them appropriately. So the most commonly used coordinating conjunctions are easily remembered by the mnemonic FAN boys. That's acronym. Mnemonic is also a word used for acronym, FAN boys, and that's it. For and no, but, or, yet, so. So let's look at some examples. It is used to cite a reason or purpose. For is used to cite a reason or purpose. I bought a new bag. Reason for my upcoming trip. It is used to cite a reason, a purpose for which something is done. All right, to have and, it connects or adds one thing to another. Example, I love apples and bananas. It says it connects or adds one thing to another. Let's look at the next, which is no. It is used to indicate a negative idea to an already existing negative idea. Exactly. There is an existing negative idea, and you use no to indicate a negative idea also. So you are not to take orange nor mango. You see it. You are not to take, there's already a negative this thing. Don't take and don't take. So you see, on an existing negative idea. So you are not to take orange nor mango. We have but. It is used to show a contrast between two items or ideas. She's beautiful, but not industrious. You see, she's beautiful, but not industrious. So it's used to show a contrast between two items or ideas. Example, I wanted to go for a hike, but I have to go to work today. So that is it, a contrast. When you talk about contrast, we talk about a difference, a shift in something. Then we have or. It is used to present an alternative to an already present positive idea, an alternative to an already present positive idea. Unlike no, no gives you what? A negative on a negative, but here it's a positive idea, an alternative to an already present positive idea. So would you like tea or coffee? There are two things you are to choose. There are two positive things. There are two good things. Which would you like? This or this? Unlike no. No is saying this is not going, nor would this go. So there are two positive things. That's the difference between no or all. in the aspect of nor, there are two negative things. You are not taking either of them. All right. Then for or, there are two things, positive things, this or this. All right, so we have yet. It is used to introduce an idea that adds something to a previous idea and is usually contrasting with it. An idea that adds something to a previous idea and is contrasting. I practice daily, yet I couldn't put up a good show yesterday. I practiced daily, yet I couldn't put up a good show yesterday. All right, so this is something good you have done, but it's contrasting. I practiced daily, yet I couldn't put up a good show yesterday. Finally, so it is a conjunction that is used to indicate that effect or result of an occurrence. It is used to indicate the effect or result of an occurrence. Example, both parents worked hard so that their children could study in good schools. Used to indicate the effect or result of an occurrence. All right, we move. Coordinating conjunctions, placement. How are they placed? Coordinating conjunctions can join two nouns, verbs, adjectives, or other types of words. Now we have examples. The data was gathered through questionnaires and interviews. There we have and used to join two nouns together, questionnaires and interviews. Then the second example, we see or being used to join two verbs. And lastly, but used to join two adjectives. Coordinating conjunctions, placement. How you place them. You can use your and to join two nouns. We've used or to join two verbs, and we've used but to join two adjectives. The data was gathered through what? Questionnaires, nouns, interviews, nouns. I don't like to run or swim. No, I can't. The two can't be done. So I don't like to run, neither do I like to swim. All right. We have he was clever but lazy. Clever but lazy. These are two adjectives joined together. All right, phrases. Now they say that they can also join different types of phrases. His tail has been joined with panted excitedly. Undeniably intriguing has been joined with ultimately inconclusive. And finally, in the library has been joined with at a cafe. So we've seen a case of using our conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions specifically to join phrases. Then finally, here we have the use of our coordinating conjunction to join independent clauses. Independent clauses are simple sentences joined together. Simple sentences joined together are called independent clauses. So we say that a clause is a group of words that contains at least a subject and a verb. An independent clause can stand on its own as a full sentence expressing a complete thought. So you see it. My reason for saying that independent clauses are simple sentences because simple sentences express complete thoughts. Simple sentences express complete thoughts. So here we have today, Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists, but she achieved little fame during her lifetime. So we have used but to join two independent clauses. Jane Austen is one of the most widely read English novelists. It's a simple sentence, it's an independent clause, and we join it with another independent clause, which obviously is a simple sentence. She achieved little fame during her lifetime. Remember, we said that clauses must at least have a subject and a verb. In the first independent clause, we have Jane Austen, which is the subject, and we have is, which is the verb. Then in the second sentence, we have she, which is the subject, and we have achieved, which is the verb. So that brings us to the point that independent clauses are as well simple sentences. All right, so having concluded on coordinating conjunctions, you will be tested on that, and that will be using your exam guide to approach questions. But before we go to that, let's look at the second type of conjunctions. The second type of conjunctions, and that is the subordinating conjunctions. By the word subordinating, we refer to dependent conjunction. These conjunctions are those conjunctions that are used to introduce the subordinate clause in a sentence. Subordinating conjunctions are used to introduce the subordinate clause in a sentence. Now let's look at what we have here. It said the commonly used subordinating conjunctions are because, once, though, until, when, since, where, while, or though. These show relation in time, place, or condition. All right, so a few sentences using the above conjunctions. So that is it. Subordinating conjunctions are those conjunctions that are used to introduce the subordinate clause. Remember, we said that the subordinate clause is that clause that cannot stand on its own. It relies on the main clause, or what we call the independent clause, to make complete sense. As much as it has a finite verb, it doesn't express full thoughts. Subordinate clauses don't express full thoughts. So whenever you see any of these conjunctions used in a sentence, have it at the back of your mind that that part of a sentence is the subordinate clause. So these are as much as we can take for our subordinating conjunctions: after, although, as if, as long as. So they are here. You can learn them and know how to use them in sentences. Now, one thing I want us to know is that subordinating conjunctions can start a sentence. But remember, I stated it in one of my lessons, I think, yes, when I was taking adverbs, I stated it that as much as you can use your subordinating conjunctions to start a sentence, do well to finish with the independent clause. That's the main clause. A subordinating conjunction starting a sentence must not stop at the subordinate clause. Rather, you must include the independent clause in that sentence. I gave an example stating that using because to start a sentence or to respond to a question asked must not end at that subordinate clause part of a sentence. You have to add the main clause. So because I was not allowed to visit my mom, I decided to obey. The question says, why did you disobey? And you can't stop at saying, because I was not allowed to visit my mother. It is not complete. So you have to finish it by saying, because I was not allowed to visit my mother, I chose to disobey. So I chose to disobey because I was not allowed to visit my mother. All right, I believe we understand that better. Now, under subordinating conjunctions, we have subordinating conjunctions for comparison, we have subordinating conjunction for time, we have for concession, we have for relative pronouns, we have for reason, and we have for condition. Unless can also be part of the condition. For reason, you have because, you have since, you have until. Then for relative pronouns, know it that we have over 7 of them. Under relative pronouns, you have your who, you have which, you have whom, you have whose, you have that, you have whoever, you have whomever, you have where, you have when. These are relative pronouns. Now, what are relative pronouns? Relative pronouns are those pronouns that are used to introduce the subordinate clause in a sentence. Reason for having it under subordinating conjunctions. So these are areas where we can use. We have subordinating conjunctions. You want to compare people using your subordinating conjunctions, then these are the words. You want to show time using your subordinating conjunction, these are the words that you have to use. So you see that conjunctions, or rather subordinating conjunctions, are adverbs, are closely related aside the relative pronouns. But every other thing we have under subordinating conjunctions can work as adverbs, either of time, either of comparison, either of reason, either of condition or concession. All right, now let's look at some examples, sentence examples of subordinating conjunctions. It says, I took an umbrella because it was raining. That's reason. Although she was disabled, she was involved in many social service campaigns. Although, that is adverb, or rather subordinating conjunction of concession. We saw it. Then we have, he was working very hard while his wife was recovering at home. That's time. Subordinating conjunction of what? Time. So you must know what they are used for. Now, there is something I would like to state, and that's the fact that subordinating conjunctions, I think I've said it before, that subordinating conjunctions can start a sentence, it can as well end a sentence. So when you're using any of your subordinating conjunctions, know that you can use it at the beginning point of the sentence and you can use it at the end of the sentence. But that cannot be done with the relative pronoun. Relative pronouns cannot function as the beginning of the sentence and as well as the end. All right, so we have a sentence as, this is the boy whose car was stolen. Whose is a relative pronoun which can function as subordinating conjunction, but we can't bring the sentence to start with whose car was stolen, this is the boy. So we can't walk in that direction. So that's that. So we have the next example, that though they were not very rich, they made yearly donations for the betterment of the society. That's still subordinating conjunction in the angle of concession. Then finally, ever since she left her job, she has been actively taking care of her children. Reason, ever since she left the job. Finally, that is correlative conjunction. Very tricky. Others may be very easy. Mean the conjunction, the coordinating conjunction, and the subordinating conjunction. But you see correlative conjunctions, that's the conjunctions that come in pairs. If you don't get used to using the right paired words, that would be a problem. So it's very important that you memorize. That's the word I'll use. Try to memorize the conjunctions that are paired with each other. So once you use both, you are likely to use and. If you use either, you should use or. If you use neither, you should use nor. If you use whether, you should use or. Not only, but also. There are other examples that we'll look at. All right, so we have a sentence here. It says the company deals in both hardwares and softwares. I will eat either carrots or peas for dinner. Neither nor, we have Natalia likes neither milk nor cream cake. Do you care whether we have noodles or rice for dinner? So you see that whether or has the same thing with either or. Then we have not only but also. He not only studies hard, but also he works well. Now let's look at what we have here. It says correlative conjunctions, as mentioned earlier in the chapter, are those which occur in pairs. They need to be used in the same sentence at different parts to make sense out of the sentence. These are the examples: either or, neither nor, both and, not only but also, not for but for, etc. We have hardly or, yes, hardly when, no sooner than, in case. All right, so we have few sentences that show the uses of the above mentioned conjunctions. You can either have the cheese or the frozen hot chocolate. So a few sentences that show the uses of what? The above mentioned conjunctions. So you can either have the cheese or the chocolate. So please, the words in red are the correlative conjunctions. She said she neither wanted the yogurt nor the ice cream. All right, the final example says, I am in the mood not for ice cream, but for some waffles. So that's that. We remember I said we have some other examples. I've mentioned some examples of the correlative conjunctions. You can try using them in sentences and see how it works for you. All right, so that is that. we'll want to go to our Examguide app to check 1 or 2 questions that will possibly answer from past questions. Okay, all right, this is the first one that says, hardly had the journey started. Hardly had the journey started. Hardly is an example of the correlative conjunction. That is that type of conjunction that is paired. So I mentioned it. If you listen attentively in my class, you'll hear me mention hardly when. Hardly goes with when. No sooner goes with than. So let's check. Hardly had the journey started when the car engine developed. All right, so let's see it. Perfect. They say the answer is B. When is a correlative conjunction. Hardly when they go together. All right, let's take another question. This one says, both questions are alternatives. You answer this or the other. You answer either one or the other. So that is it. You say it either this or this. Remember, we said that either or, they work together. So we are looking at which one which of the two. There are 2 options there. They are both okay. So which should I go for? You go for either this or this. Remember, neither nor, they are different from either or. Neither nor means you are not getting anyone in particular. All right, we have another example here. It says, Moji says she is better at maths than I am. She's better in maths than I am. Okay, so that is it. Than is used to compare the two. So we are correct. All right, I would leave you at this juncture, and I'm wishing that when you try your hands on questions bordering on conjunctions, you will be able to answer them appropriately based on how far you have learned, not only on objective parts, even at writing. You should be able to apply all what you have been taught when you are writing. Bye for now.